Hi everyone, welcome back to another lightsaber video, and I wish you all a very happy new year. This is a vintage Graflex built in the style of the Force Awakens prop. I've had this for a long time, but I've been kind of slowly optimizing it and making it more and more accurate with various upgrades over the years. I finally achieved what is considered to be 100% accuracy for this particular prop, and I wanted to share it with you all. So the latest addition to this is this uppermost part of the Graflex. This comes from quite a rare type of Folmer called the 1928 Folmer. This has a distinctly shiny surface, which is a lot less brushed than the usual vintage Graflexes that you see. I'm not sure how much it's going to be picked up on camera, but this is it compared to a sort of a standard vintage Folmer. This is also an early Folmer, but you could see this has sort of a grainy, brushed look, as do most Graflexes, to be honest, Folmer or otherwise. Most of them have this sort of brushed, dull finish, whereas this one is not quite chrome, but it is definitely more shiny and reflective. You could see kind of the light reflecting off it, how it sort of plays differently on both these upper parts. So this was quite a rare and difficult find, this upper part. It has a chrome slotted screw. I'll just zoom into that and focus it. If you can see, the slotted screw here is also highly reflective, unlike the usual vintage. It has a dull finish, a machined finish. It has its own unique, it came with this, so the vintage button of the 1928 is quite unique. It has a thin strip of knurling with a step underneath. You see that shallow step there underneath the knurling. Normally early Folmers have a thin strip of knurling but no step underneath. Now this button is not accurate for any lightsabers as far as I know, so it's just something that I set to the side to add to the collection, but it's of no use in lightsaber builds. The 1928 Folmer also comes with its very unique glass eye. As you can see, it's chrome, but it has a kind of a wide aperture, and it's clearly a kind of a Folmer style with its sides open like that. Unlike the ink, it looks a lot like the ink. I'm just going to grab an ink glass eye. This is a much more common ink style. So both of them are chrome, and at first glance they look very, very similar, which is why most people will build the TFA prop with the ink glass eye, which is absolutely fine. It's much more common, a lot cheaper, easy to find, but you can see a difference in the top shelf there. The top shelf here is thinner, and it kind of slants in, or it slopes in at more of an angle than the ink does. But otherwise they are similar. So yeah, this is the original vintage 1928 Folmer glass eye, which is also going to be just set aside. I did have one before, which I purchased separately, and I'd already done the sanding to reveal the brass underneath, so that is accurate to the real prop. So yeah, chrome screw, 1928 glass eye with the brass, obviously the smooth pins of the Folmer, and then replace the red button with a standard Graflex ink red button with the long knurling. But you can see how shiny this top is. So this is exactly what the prop looks like, what was used on screen. The rest of it's unchanged. I have a vintage Graflex ink clamp. It would look something like this. This is an ink clamp here. This is covered by Wonawanga's clamp cover to hide the stamping. You kind of see the edge there. This clamp card is from Sky Wampa. The lower portion is also a Graflex ink. It will have this stamping, manufactured by Graflex ink, so it's not a Folmer. The clamp and the lower on the TFA prop are inks, but the top is a 1928 Folmer. And because it says manufactured, there are these three letters here, RED, which are peeking through under the cobalt that has been seen in one of the pictures, and I modified it so it could be visible. I'll try to. It could be quite hard to see it right here. Wonder if you can see it. Yeah, RED. They're just peeking out underneath the cobalt. The cobalt is obviously a machined replica from Wonawanka. Rivets and D-ring from Wonawanka, and these resin grips and their rivets are from Wonawanka as well. These are all parts that were production made. So the clamp cover, card, grips, etc., cobalt. So there are no real world parts available for this. So replicas are absolutely fine. And then finally, just covered the pommel with chrome tape. This is more accurate than the kind of the plain aluminium discs that a lot of people use. This is what was used on the prop. So yeah, with the RED showing underneath. And that is basically it for this one. Really nice build. I've always loved the Force Awakens Graflex. I feel like it's a really nice kind of cross between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. It has almost the best of both worlds. It has the glass eye, like A New Hope. It has the beer tab, but it has more of an Empire Strikes Back overall look. So a circuit board, the lever underneath, the straight grips with these kind of rivets and a cobalt. So it's almost the best of both worlds. I really like it. It's quite idealized. I like the way these gold traces look with the sanded glass eye and pens. They all kind of complement each other. Gives it that nice kind of brass look. Yeah, so it's finally 100% accurate to the prop, because this was very, very difficult to find. I mean, the 1928 Folmers have become extremely rare now. Just look how shiny the bunny ears is compared to a regular Folmer. I mean, that is clearly brushed. It's hard to pick up on the camera, but in real life there's an absolute difference. So yeah, it's really, really beautiful, nice and shiny. Yeah, I'm finally very happy with this. It's as accurate as I could possibly get, I think. 1928 Folmer upper, 1928 Folmer glass eye, ink red button, ink clamp, ink lower showing the RED, Wonawanka, everything else, cover, grips, etc. cobalt. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.